Okay. All right. Okay, just give it some time for people to join. Hi. All right, just give it some time for others to join. This is a live session where we'll have to discuss everything cybersecurity related. And if you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll be more than willing to answer whatever question you have. But I'm just giving for some time, just giving time for others to join. Okay, hi, I can see 3 people, so I'm just waiting for others to join. Bear with me while you are there. If you have any question in mind that you would like us to cover, do let me know, please. Just put it, in the chat box and I'll be more than willing to answer your question. Yeah. Just put it, Yep. So I know I'm seeing 3 people. If you can just, I'm not seeing your name. If you can just maybe just send a message in the chat, I'll really appreciate it. Can you hear me? Okay, I did join on my phone. Are you guys able to send a message? Please do let me know. Can you just put a thumb up if you're able to send a message? Please. Okay, good. All right. How competitive is the cybersecurity job market today? High is okay. Talking about cybersecurity being competitive is very, very competitive. Thinking of the fact that we have AI, right? Compared to other IT branches, cybersecurity is a must go. It's something that everyone, organization, both home and abroad, are looking for cybersecurity folks. And just talking about the term cybersecurity alone, is a very broad term with over 8 domains. And there are plenty of things that one can do in cybersecurity, right? So, it's highly competitive. Once you have the skills, there are plenty of job opportunities that you can just, once you have the right skill, you can definitely be certain that you'll get a job. And again, it's very, very highly competitive in the job market. It is. And the beautiful thing is that there are shortages of cybersecurity professionals. Yes, there are shortages of cybersecurity professionals. And if I can just even expatiate on that a little bit, just looking at the AI alone, right? The fact that we have AI talking more on the compliance side in cybersecurity, definitely have a lot of jobs, right? Because of the fact that AI is housing a lot of sensitive data, and cybersecurity actually focuses on ensuring that those data are being protected, they can be available at any given point in time. And think of all the different roles in under the umbrella of cybersecurity, where organization will need folks to come help them ensure that data is well protected and also available at any given point in time. Did I answer your question? Alex, hi. I'm happy to be on board. You are very welcome. Thanks, and hope you're gonna have fun. Yeah, so while waiting for others to join again, this whole live show is just to be able to educate people for free because I've received a lot of calls. People wanted to transition into cybersecurity, but they feel like it's not the right fit for them based on the misinformation that they must have received somewhere over the internet. And we know the internet is vast, right? So we want to be very careful as to where we get information, who is guiding us. So because of all the calls that I received from people, this actually motivated me to organize a live session where I'll be able to educate, everyone for free. And also considering the fact that for one, I actually have a bachelor degree in zoology animal study. So for me to be able to make that transition from zoology to cybersecurity and actually having like leadership roles simply says a lot. It means that anybody, irrespective of your background, you can definitely transition into this field. And there's also a myth that I want to debunk. Prior to getting into cybersecurity, I always felt like a person would need to know how to hack or understand some of the programming languages, but that's not the case, right? You do not need any of those. As a matter of fact, compliance, if you can read and understand English, then you are good to go, because compliance has to do with a lot of reading, and it boils down on security control. This is something a little bit technical for someone who is still new and trying to get started. But my advice for you is that you do not need any tech savviness to kickstart your cybersecurity training. And it doesn't matter if you have like a bachelor's or you have certifications. If you have those maybe master certifications, but you are not able to defend your skills, still you won't be able to get a job. So what hiring managers are looking for, they are looking for people who will be able to, to be able to defend their skill set, right? And they are not looking for folks that they can babysit. No. So somebody that will just come get a project started and be able to do their jobs. So this is just an advice for you. If you really want to know more, you can eventually send us a text or an email, and we'll be more than willing to help you answer whatever question you might have. But as I'm saying, cybersecurity is one of those fields that it is highly competitive. It's so much in demand. There are need for skilled cybersecurity professionals. And if you have the rightful skill, I promise you, you'll be good. Okay, and talking about certification, I am a living artifact right here. I know somebody that can like literally testify. The only cybersecurity certification I currently have is a CompTIA Security Plus. But having that, I've been able to like have, as I said, leadership role, manager role, and so on and so forth, right? Because once, again, you have that skill that, if they sort you out for an interview, once you're able to defend your interview, you are good to go. So no tech savviness required if you really want to kickstart your cybersecurity training. Hi. Hello, Edaud. I know Edaudo. Great things. Hi, yes, welcome. So we were just discussing about is tech savviness required for somebody to kickstart their cybersecurity training? Or do they need to have like bachelor's degree, master degrees, certifications? Do they need to know how to hack or understand one or two or three programming languages? And I said, no, we just discussed this. Something that you can later go back and watch the video, but no tech savviness is required to start a career in cybersecurity. And one of the things I also want to emphasize here is that we want to be smart as to the type of career choice we are going for, right? Because in cybersecurity, AI is doing a wonderful job. There are areas that AI has affected and it's going to affect them big time in the future. But still, there are areas in security that AI will generate a lot of jobs. I always tell people, yes, you might be a tech person. I am a tech person. I used to be one and I transitioned to compliance, and that's where, the job will always be there because it's something that they will always need us over and over and over again. Hi, Delphine, welcome. Okay. And guys, if you have any question, make sure you put it on the chat. Okay. I'm looking at my screen. If you have any question, make sure you put it on the chat. Yeah, so also talking about cybersecurity, I would say that one of the things that we want to understand, and again, as I said, one of the reasons of me having this live session is just to be able to, again, answer whatever questions that anybody might have. Okay, thanks for the update. You are welcome, Ace. Yeah, yes, you answered the question. Okay. Yeah, for those who just joined, if you have any question, please do put it in the chat and I'll be more than willing to answer your question. So talking about cybersecurity, I always ask people, if I might ask you all, just put it on your chat. What do you understand by cybersecurity? What can you all say? What do you all think? I'm just going to give a few seconds to see if you all can, just tell me, what do you all understand by cybersecurity? One second, go. Who want to give a shot? Sheila, hi everyone, happy to be here. You're very welcome. Yeah, so we just asked a question. What do you all think? What do you understand by cybersecurity? Because in as much I would say that AI is going to generate more jobs, still we want to be able to understand what cybersecurity is all about, right? Because if we do not understand, we're going to be confused, right? It's a broad term, has over 8 domains, but what exactly is cybersecurity? Who want to give a try? In the comment section. Cybersecurity is safeguarding your information system by making sure unauthorized access is prevented. That's excellent. You see the word when she make mention of information system. That's a very critical point, and that's one thing I really want to talk on. And just to see the diversity and how important cybersecurity is. So apparently, cybersecurity is just the protection of organization assets. At this point, we start talking of asset, there are different types of asset, right? Boil down on anything the organization have that is most valuable to them. You want to be able to protect, make sure those assets are being protected. And not only that, but make sure yes, data is always available at any given point in time, and make sure that no modification can be done on that particular asset or data. So talking about that, we have a video where we cover in depth that has to do with the concept of CIA TRIA, which again, those are the basic but yet fundamental principle in cybersecurity. So for you to be able to start a career in cybersecurity, to be honest, you have to understand this basic principle. It's very, very important. Cybersecurity is all about protection of data. Okay, that sounds good. So talking about the CIA TRIA, as I said, we have a video live. We have a video on our YouTube channel. Once you understand CIA TRIA and be able to link them with security risks, vulnerability and threats, that's cybersecurity for you. I'm not kidding. So I know it said that it has to do with information system. What exactly is an information system? Information system is anything that collects, processes, or house data. For example, Facebook is an information system. WhatsApp is an information system. YouTube is an information system. Instagram is an information system. All the different AIs, these are all information systems. So come to think of all the different information systems that organizations have. Okay, so think of all the information system that organizations have, and with this information system, it processes, collect, or store data in one way or the other, right? So if this organization have millions, hundreds of information systems, those information systems have data, they collect data, they store data, okay? So if organization have all of these, then it just makes sense that companies would, they'll need cybersecurity folks to be able to, categorize their data type. And I'll even talk more about how they call AI. Right. Come to think of it, AI might have different type of data that it processes, it collects, and it house. Okay. So having those alone, cybersecurity folks will need to be able to identify and categorize their data. And many a time, I guess you guys must have heard or seen in job description where they start talk of security risks. How do you manage risks? You start risk management. You start managing those risks by going there and be able to identify the data type. For example, talking of data type, we might start talk of like social security number, date of birth, email addresses, home addresses, and so on and so forth. So if organizations have all these different data types, they need to be able to identify, and that's the beauty now about cybersecurity, okay? That's the beauty about cybersecurity, because at this point, you have regulatory authorities. You have regulatory authorities that make it mandatory for organizations to be able to make sure they do all it takes to be able to protect this data. Because if they do not do that, guess what? If you get breached, then be ready to pay those fines that they're going to leverage against you. So if you don't do it, it's going to be penny wine pound foolish, okay? Which doesn't make sense at all. So in a nutshell, you have these different regulatory authorities that have make it mandatory for organizations to be able to identify whatever data type is it. And think of all the different regulatory authorities. You might ask me, what am I saying? The very first one in the US, I believe maybe most of us are in the US. You'll be hearing of FISMA, you'll be hearing of FedRAMP. These are all acronyms, mostly for the US government, but now anybody can adopt it, which again, they've put their set of laws and standard and make it mandatory for organizations to be able to abide, adhere, and be able to protect users' data. Come to think of anybody that lives in Europe, as a matter of fact, a European citizen, if you are collecting, housing, or processing any European citizen data, by default, you have to be in compliance with GDPR. That's a must. Okay, that is a must. Then, if you are working more in a healthcare system where nowadays you can remotely access your medical record, right? So if you have to do that, you have insurance, you have hospitals, medical, different insurance companies and hospitals, they process a lot of your PII, personally identifiable information. Then you start hearing of high trust and HIPAA and so on. And then tell me about in a financial transaction, who nowadays doesn't use credit card or debit card? When you go to Walmart nowadays, they even have like self-checkout where they have different sale of point machines that you just go there, you're able to insert your card. That is PCI DSS. So think of all the different regulatory authority that we have. Make it mandatory for organizations to adhere per, the type of data or transaction that they are doing. And most organizations will be adhering to different or two or more, 4 regulatory authorities. And if you are actually adhering to the different regulatory authorities, come to think of the workload, let's just say now we boil down to one information system. Say, for example, Slack or Teams, like your communication channel. You want to be able to, first of all, identify what kind of data is this particular information system collecting, okay? What kind of data is it collecting? What regulatory framework do we need to adhere to? How do we go about identifying the data type? And once you identify that data type, what's the next step? So I want you guys to be able to understand that with that security policies and the security force, there's literally no organization, okay? Because everything boils down back to your data and everything that you guys are doing. IT, as a matter of fact, information technology tools, right? The different tools, the different information system that collect, processes, or house this data. So before even us thinking of like establishing, hiring people, doing whatever thing, getting database administrator and so on and so forth, security is the very first people that have to identify, okay, we are coming with this data, we want to be able to identify the data type. Once we identify the data type based on the regulatory authority that we go with, the next one is for us to be able to start developing policies, right? If you don't know what a policy is, policies are just written documents that tells you on what an organization does. Okay, so based on that policies, you need to be able to determine the type of security controls that you can implement. Okay, and I tell you what, these are all different like projects, and you have security folks working on these different projects. Okay, so think of the fact that organization might have 2 or 3 or more regulatory authorities. Think of the fact that if it's a high system, for example, a system that collects high social security number, date of birth, by default, if a system is housing or collecting a social security number, that's a high system. Okay, so do you know how many controls that system will have? How many controls they will need to implement? We are talking of thousands. So do you know how many cybersecurity folks they will need just to make sure that particular system and information system, one information system, stay in compliance? I'm saying this because I work with so many systems, right? So think of the fact that you have a high system, and then to make matter worse, this system maybe it collects data from European citizens, maybe some form of payment, or it's a high trust, or whatsoever. You get, it's not only about implementing those security controls, it's also making sure that we are adhering to all the different regulatory authorities. And if we are adhering to all the regulatory authorities, it means that you have set of auditors, external folks coming in to be able to test your environment, to be able to assess it, to be able to make sure you guys are doing all it takes to be in compliance. And not even that, even within, inside, internal, you guys are providing user awareness training. You are training your users. Me and you today, I don't know what you do. Before you even start working, you have to take a training. That is coming from security, where they need to be able to tell you, guess what? Do you know our policies, right? So those are all mandatory things that, again, they've put in place just to make sure that organizations better protect their asset. And these are all different, I'm not kidding, different rules, right? So talking on security, you can work in-house, you can work as an independent auditor where you guys are going to assess security posture, where you guys have to test their system and so on and so forth. But look at security at this point, there's always going to be job. Do you know why? Because the different regulatory authority have make it mandatory that it's going to be a continuous monitoring effect. So we have to keep doing that over and over and over again. It's not something that we're going to do today and like, no, we're done. No, if you have those controls in place, you have to keep testing those controls to make sure they are effective. You need to start reviewing your policies. Policies are all annual reviews. You need to start reviewing your policies and think of all these different regulatory authorities we've make mention. Guess what? It also do change. They have like version that would change. And each time it change, you have to make sure you migrate to the newer version. You need to start like checking your control. You need to start updating your policies. Do you know, like just one information system, as a matter of fact, can have nothing less than 30 policies? How do you start managing those? How? So look at security from like all the angles, right? It's not just all about writing code. I do not know how to write code. I do not know any programming languages, but I know controls. If you can read and understand English, if you know what security controls are, I tell you what, you are good to go. Okay? Does anyone have a question? Any question? I'll wait and see. Any question? No? Okay. So, but please, can I get a thumb up if I'm making sense? Can I? Can you hear me? Awesome. All right. All right. That's good. Right. So if you're somebody where, again, you are still trying to make that transition, I want to tell you that, okay, good, good. And if you have any question, please just put it on the chat and I'll be more than willing to answer your question. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And again, as I said, security, yes, you're making sense. Thank you, Priscilla. Yes, as I said, security is one of those things that, guys, I'm not kidding. It doesn't matter what you do in IT, we've seen what is happening in the world. Just try and start making those transitions. I always tell people, don't get too comfortable where you are, right? Who would have thought that one day developers will be out of job market? Who? But we'll see what AI is doing. And the more AIs we have, the more security jobs we do have, okay? The more security jobs, because just like, you know, I just wait you guys can understand more and more security jobs. Do we need to come out with policies and procedure for each information type in the system? Absolutely. Absolutely. So before bringing an information system, let's say, for example, I think I might discuss a little bit of third party. I've just talked on the different regulatory authorities. I've talked on, developing policies. But before you bring in any, let's say, and most organizations do not have like their own customized tools, right? So in the situation like that, first, you also want to, first of all, check maybe if you are bringing in somebody or you guys have it in-house. But if it's an information system that you guys have it in-house, the very first thing, again, as I said, what regulatory authority do you guys go with? If you guys are going with this particular regulatory authority, guess what? Yes, Alexei, I'm going to answer your question for sure. If you guys are going with this particular regulatory authority, there are different things that you have to do to the point of identifying the information type, identifying all the data types, selecting the necessary security controls. Once you've done that, then you start developing policies. As a matter of fact, let me talk more about the FISMA and FedRAMP frameworks, right? Though I'm not going to mention my company, but I'm a contractor with the US government. So once you have an information system, then you start developing security policies. And come to think of it again, I said if it's a high system, by default, you have nothing less than 2,000 controls, okay? Nothing less than 2,000 controls. And you have different control families. Like I see Linda actually put NIST. It shows Linda is somebody that knows security very well. I believe so. So they have what they call like the NIST guidance that help you stay in compliance with the different regulatory authority, especially the FISMA and FedRAMP. FISMA and FedRAMP are just set of laws that they've just put it out there. It's so vague, right? They tell you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. And if you guys recall, when I said that, when I talk about data type, information system actually collect or processes different data types, right? You might have a system that just collect like email addresses, first name, last name. Or you might have another system that literally collects social security number. These are two different information systems. So once you first of all identify your data type, then you need to be able to identify the set of controls that needs to be implemented. And those security controls are really, really vital, because cybersecurity, again, is all about security controls. That's the honest truth. Okay, so once you identify those set of controls that needs to be implemented, you start developing policy for each and every control family. As a matter of fact, the NIST publication, I know this is a little bit technical, they have over 20 control families, 20. And just AC, you guys must have heard of access control. Access control alone have nothing less than about 500 controls. That's one family. Okay, but it doesn't mean that all of those controls are mandatory. It doesn't mean that you need to implement all those controls. You still have the guidance that, or standard that will guide you as to the kind of control that are mandatory for your system. And when we're talking of compliance, you need to make sure you have those control. They call them baseline control. Baseline, that's the minimum requirements, right? You need to be able to have those baseline control. Make sure they are implemented for you to be able to stay in compliance. So yes, you need to have policy, because come to think of it, if you have an information system, you do not have policy, how do you proceed from there? You won't even know who is doing what kind of control needs to be implemented. So it's just going to be vague. And that's why I said policies are the backbone of any organization. As a matter of fact, without security policies, there are no organization. That's the truth. And security policies are dependent on security controls. Guys, security controls are proactive measures. Cybersecurity, we are just actually being proactive to better protect organization asset. That's what we do, and our role actually aligns with security controls. Okay, think of security controls. Maybe you want to log into your Facebook account. The very first thing, you put your username, password. Those are all controls. Maybe you have multi-factor authentication enabled. Those are security controls. Have you tried to log into your bank account and you put wrong password unsuccessful, or wrong password 3 times and then lock you out? Those are security controls. You get. So are you guys, I just want to keep it at the at the basic level, that way we can understand what controls are. So come to think of the fact that organizations have one information system. Organizations have over 2,000 controls. Do you know how many cybersecurity people they will need just to make sure just that one information system actually be in compliance with a regulatory authority? I want you guys to guess. So come to think of it. And this is just in-house. In-house. You working, ensuring that you guys have all it takes to stay, in compliance. Flip it now. As a matter of fact, you have external auditors coming in every year. It's an annual thing. It's mandatory to test your control. They are not testing your organization. They are testing each and every information system. And that's why, again, when I think Ace talk about information system, that makes sense, right? So when they are coming out to start testing each and every information system. So come to think of all the information system that organization have. Come to think of the fact that how many users does that organization have? We need to keep doing user awareness training, which are all security controls. And your policy, again, as I said, once you have this policy, it's something that you have to keep doing continuous monitoring. You keep updating the policy. If something changed, make sure you have to adopt the change, right? So security, there's just no way AI will eliminate human effort when it comes to compliance. And I'm telling you, you might be a technical folks, but if someone tell you that security does not have job, guys, they are lying. Compliance covers 60% of cybersecurity, as a matter of fact. And everything starts from compliance. Everything is start from compliance. Okay? So it's a whole lot. Then on the flip side, let's say organization does not have their own tools, where they have to depend on other organizations for their business to run smoothly. Now you start talking of third-party vendor risk analysts. They need third-party vendor risk analysts. Do you know how many vendors an organization will have? I guess you guys must have heard of the CrowdStrike and Microsoft stuff that happened, I think, close to a month ago. Those are all vendors. So think of how many vendors organization we have. And you need to, again, as I said, it's continuous monitoring. You need to start assessing your vendors. You assess your vendors to make sure that, they're aligned to you all standard. You are reviewing their documents that they keep submitting. So security, as a matter of fact, the more AIs we have, the more security job, cybersecurity related. Linda, I believe I answered your question. Please let me know. Then Alex Z said, I heard cybersecurity is very broad with a lot of opportunities. What are the various professions under the canopy of cybersecurity? That's a good one. And guys, if you love this video, please subscribe, give a thumb up, share it with your friends. You can just share the live. I know very soon we'll call it a day. So if you can just share this live session with your friends, that way they can join, I really appreciate it. Okay, so like it also. Yeah, so talking about the different domain, as I've said, right? So again, at the surface level, we talk about, regulatory authorities. You have different regulatory authorities. So you start need people, let's focus in-house. You start need a lot of information security specialists, risk and compliance analysts, security control assessor, information system security owner at the manager level. Okay, these are some of the roles. Third-party vendor risk analysts. These are some of the roles that they will need you. These are the roles that job will always be there with these particular roles, okay? Because these roles that I've just mentioned, they do not require any tech savviness. They do not. All they do is for you, if you can read and understand English, and if you have a good mentor, somebody that can provide you with real hands-on training, you'll be good. You will get in there, you will get the job, and you will survive. Okay, so these are some of the roles that cybersecurity have, but you also have some of the technical role like the SOC analyst. If you're a SOC analyst, no offense, but that's an area that if you're in security, if I'm somebody, I'm going to be so smart to see how I can switch. I know some people are just technical by nature, which I get. They don't like to rate whatever thing, but at the end of the day, we want to be able to be, like, we need to be smart and always make that transition before something happens. We don't want to be in a situation where maybe they might tell us that they are outsourcing the whole security team, especially SOC analyst is one of that area or that domain in cybersecurity that is easily being outsourced offshore for cheaper labor, and AI is going to affect that domain or area in cybersecurity big time, right? And these folks, what do? They are the backbone in security, okay? I always call them cybersecurity CNAs. You have like different level, they have like the red team, blue team, and so on, right? They are like highly technical, some they just like monitor the network, investigate it, just to make sure that organizations stay safe. But this is where I want to differentiate a SOC analyst and someone from compliance, okay? I hope you guys are still with me. Somebody from SOC analyst, you really don't see the actual risks that an organization have. I know I've been talking about risks. I hope we understand what security risks are. If not, we have videos again on confidentiality, integrity, availability, vulnerability, threat, and risks. But we'll do our best to create separate video for each and every concept. That way you guys can understand. So security risks, I don't know how I can put it, but at the very least, let's just assume security because I'm going to derail a little bit. All right, so the SOC analysts, they really don't see the actual risks that an organization have. They are doing a great job. They have their tools where they monitor, right? They resolve whatever incident that comes. For example, I mentioned earlier that say you want to log into your Facebook account or maybe your mobile banking. Guess what? Once you log in, you try to put in your password, 3 unsuccessful times, you are locked out. So at the back end with the SOC analyst folks, it's being registered as an incident, right? Like as an incident that they want to check, hey, what is happening, right? Or say, for example, your company policy says that you are not supposed to work abroad. You have to work only in the US. Then you take your laptop. Maybe you went to, I'm from Cameroon. Maybe you went to Cameroon, right? You have a new IP address that will be generated. And each time you try to log in again, it will be registered at the back end. Now they'll want to investigate in somebody trying to intrude or get into your system. Okay, so these are all different scenarios that, as to what they do. They have a whole lot of, threat hunting that they perform. But again, these are things that will come, they can investigate. But for you to be able to see the actual weaknesses that organization have, that is limited. And that's why this area in security can easily be outsourced offshore, right? For cheaper labor. But compliance, no way. Compliance stays with that country. Compliance stays with that organization. As a matter of fact, most compliance job, you cannot work out of the country. You cannot. Most compliance-based job, you have to stay in that country because you see the actual risks that organization have. Say, for example, organization do not have all the necessary security controls that we've mentioned, right? What is your opinion in the biggest barrier into entry? Let me just finish this and I'll take your question, please. Right. So just imagine that they have like limitation. Say, for example, they have like controls, one vulnerability scan, you see like those limitations that they have. Or for example, they do not have all the necessary controls and you guys are seeing that. Do you know what that means? Do you know if a hacker even have just 1/10 of idea that you guys have like some missing control? Do you know that they can definitely bypass a whole lot of other things that you guys have and infiltrate your system? At a basic minimum, this is what I'm trying to explain that you guys can understand. So you are there, you see the actual risks within that organization. And that's why they need us. And that's why they pay us very well. But we do not need to learn how to crack, to hack or programming languages. You do not need that. You do not. Okay? So when you see that actual risk, there's no way they can joke with you because you see them. You prepare your organization towards assessment. Assessor come in to make sure your organization have all it takes to be able to stay in compliance. And let's not forget that we also have certifications, right? Like for international body, the GDPR, they have what they call ISO 27001 certificate. If you have that, you have to make sure that, that certificate is being maintained. You have to keep that certificate going. And nowadays where a lot of people are going to cloud, not even a cloud vendor, there's competition. Everybody wants to make sure they already have stringent practices in place. They already adhere to 1 or 2 of these 3 different regulatory authorities before we can get their services. And all of this does not happen by chance. It still requires security experts, security professional, most importantly, compliance related roles to be able to help organizations achieve this. Alex, I hope I answered your question. And let's not forget pen tester and the older folks, but at a minimum, I think I try to cover a lot of the different rules. All right. What advice, okay, let me take Ophelia question. What advice will you give someone who wants to go the AI route? So say that somebody wants to go the AI route. I need to understand what exactly do you mean. If you can expatiate on that, like you want to do AI and machine learning, or what do you mean? Please expatiate on that. Why I'll take this other question. What, in your opinion, is the biggest barrier to entering the cybersecurity space? I think the biggest barrier will be misinformation. That's what I'll tell you. The biggest barrier is going to be misinformation, okay? Because I'm saying this again based on my own experience. Initially, I never would have thought that I would get into security because of so many misinformation out there. People telling you lies, people telling you for you to start a career in cybersecurity, you must start from a help desk support. You must learn languages, like programming languages like Python, Java, and so on. I don't know any of those. Or maybe you need to have a bachelor's and master's degree. You need to have this kind of certifications. those are all misinformation and those are all lies. Okay, because I, for one, as I said, the only cybersecurity certification I currently have right now is Security Plus. The only certification I have is Security Plus. But the question you might ask is, why am I able to get some of these leadership roles? And that's, hopefully we might have another live session where it also comes with you when you are applying this, what they talk of, how do you get sorted? How do you play with your resume to beat the ATA system, application tracking system? That's the main guy that sort, resumes, right? So even when you have that skill set, you have everything, are you able to get interviews? Once, if you get an interview, are you able to defend your skills? And that's why I said initially that I know of people with master degree, I know of people with top security clearance, no joke, top security clearance, they still cannot get a job in cybersecurity. Why? That's something that people are not telling you all, right? So much misinformation. I've had somebody I have to mentor, with security clearance. I'm like, yeah, security clearance, of course, that one, once you have it, actually at an advantage. I, for one, I do not have any clearance. I don't. I went at the basic minimal clearance of public trust. Okay, I don't even have a secret clearance. I don't even, like, recruiters reach out to me more because I barely even look for jobs. That's the truth. So how does your resume look like? Does it really speak well of your skill? And when they call you, are you able to defend those skills? So to say that the biggest barrier is going to be your misinformation, because once you get, I always tell people, get real hands-on skill training that you can sit, you can back up those skills. Even when you get that job, you go there, you'll be able to know what you're doing, and they'll respect you for that. Okay? So misinformation to me is the biggest barrier. And let nobody fool you. Educational background whatsoever, no, that should not even scare you at all, because you can get it there. I got in, and I know of so many that I have mentored that are doing very well. Still, I have people with no bachelor degree and they are doing well. So again, as I said, if you can read and understand English, cybersecurity, you can start a career in cybersecurity. Okay, Ophelia, as an auditor, you want to go the AI route. So first you want to be able, that's a little bit trickish to me though. So if you want to go the AI route, to me, if you're looking for a job and you want to be an auditor, it doesn't matter what information system is it. From security's perspective, AI is an information system. That's the beautiful thing about security, about cybersecurity. The same set of controls that go to any system, once you've identified or categorized your system, is the same set of controls that will go even for an AI system. So security, at that point, we are not differentiating is AI, it is this. We classify it as information system. Once we identify our data type, then we need to get the necessary security control that needs to go there. Make sense? Ophelia, makes sense? Please let me know. Yes. Yeah, so there's nothing like you want to go to this particular route or no. So once you have, once you be able to categorize it, now at that point, depending on the regulatory authority that you guys go with, then you have the set of control that of making mandatory for you guys to implement. And as an assessor, I'm coming in to assess those controls to be able to collect the artifact or evidences to check the efficacy of those security controls. So at that point, it doesn't matter if it's AI. No, I am focusing on the controls, and especially the baseline control. Are those controls implemented? Are they working as they're supposed to work? Okay. So that's a beautiful thing about cybersecurity. And the on-prem, same set of security controls. As a matter of fact, FedRAMP, which again, as I mentioned, of FISMA and FedRAMP is just a cloud version of FISMA. But the beautiful thing is they actually boil down the same set of security controls, though FedRAMP just added a little bit of controls, right? But if you can understand security controls, you are good to go. Alexei, please, can you tell us a little bit about your organization, your partners, and the services you provide? So I believe Alex is actually talking about unlimited sky stack. So UST, we have like about 11 minutes. I hope I'm not taking so much of your time, guys. UST is a cybersecurity consultancy firm, but that train people with little or no IT background. Little or no IT background. Okay, so we literally mold them. I've had people that have never used laptop before in their life, and that is my experience. Originally, I'm from Cameroon. I'm very proud about that. Okay, I can't lie. I never had a laptop, even at the level of my bachelor's. And let's not forget I have a bachelor's in zoology. Okay, so animal studies. So we've had people that have never used laptop before, but we have to take them through the training. And as we said, cybersecurity, you do not need any tech savviness to kickstart. So we put ourselves in their shoes. We know where they are coming from. And the one beautiful thing about us that set us aside, apart from other organizations, first, we are a CompTIA authorized academic partner. I believe you guys can see it on the wall as a CompTIA authorized academic partner. Our training also aligned with CompTIA, where we issue student exam vouchers. It's a combo. We have it, in the field. So we issue them exam voucher after once they completed their study with us. And then prior to that, we literally covers everything more cybersecurity related, starting from the core regulatory frameworks that I've mentioned, like the FISMA, the FedRAM, and GDPR, HIPAA, HITRUST, PCI DSS. I am the one, I actually am big on compliance. So what we do is that we teach each project and then students have to work on the projects. These are real hands-on projects. If you know of any current UST student, please make sure just call them and ask. But I must tell you, it is very, very comprehensive. It's a very, very comprehensive program because everything that they do comes with real hands-on projects. And not only that, and people have to present, students have to present in class, because the honest truth is that you might have it here, but if you are not able to express it, if you are not able to talk, you still will not have the job. And that's why we struggle to be able to build confidence, in our students, right? Because I, for one, or someone had told me years back that you one day sit and even talk in the midst of 2 or 3 people, I'll be like, get out of here. Okay, because that's something that is inherent. People have that. That's like a human nature. Some people by default, they are just shy and nervous, right? But for you to be able to succeed in this field, you should be able to learn how to talk and express yourself and back up your skill set. And that's why we actually make the presentation mandatory. So we start from the very initial step. Once students are doing that, they start working on their personal tell me about themselves. And if you have time in the future, we'll have a session about interview process, because that's another thing that is, that's just another story. Okay, so we have to also train them how to start their tell me about themselves, because as I said, you might have it here. If you do not know how to correlate and express yourself, especially your tell me about yourself, you still will not get the job. And that's where we have to work, we train our students, we build on that confidence, make sure by the time they transition to the interview phase, they have their confidence, they've built their confidence, they are able to talk on all the projects they've worked on, and there's nothing with them actually second guessing. No, whatever thing that you're going to say or have on your resume, those are things that you have done. Okay, those are projects that you've worked on, such that even when you get that job, you will go there and you will do just fine. Okay, so this is what we do. And then we also do intensive interview preparation, right? Mentorship, even at times one-on-one. Okay, follow up with interview preparation, put them on hot seat. Again, it's not easy, I must tell you, but put them on hot seat just for them to talk. And then we also have to, critique them, for them to better themselves. And most importantly, we also guide them on how to come up with professional resumes. We do not issue resumes because I believe at that point, you should be able to use AI. That's why I say AI is a good thing. We should be able to use AI, with your little human efforts to come up with professional resume. But I tell you what, this is something that we train and teach our students how to do it themselves. We teach our students how to bypass ATA system, application tracking system, because you might have all of these skills, but if you are not able to play with your resume and beat the ATA system, you will never get called. Okay, and that can be so frustrating. So also teach them how to come up with a good LinkedIn headline. So once have a good headline, someone just by scanning, on LinkedIn recruiters, they can easily call you. We've had students that have taken interviews that, recruiters just reach out to them. But I've been on so many groups with people even just trying to get a call is a problem. Okay, and that's why you need to be able to understand all of this to be able to help them, like, get a training, get an interview, and eventually get an offer letters and be able to maintain their jobs, right? So it's just a whole lot that we do, and we also have a community that we are there for one another, support our students all the way, and once you are a UST, you should be a UST for life. Okay, Alex, I hope I answer your question. And not also, let me not, so like, before I forget, also our website is an online learning platform, so we have videos available for our students at any given point in time. As a matter of fact, once you are a registered student, once you log in on the website, you have everything, on your student portal. You just need to go there and, do whatever thing you want to do. Okay? Any question? We have 4 more minutes. I intended to keep it under 1 hour, but again, you guys have those questions coming. I couldn't just ignore. Let me see if I missed any question. Okay, I think I got everything. So give us a call, text us if you know of any current UST student. Get to them, let us know, and we'll be more than willing to help you. Letitia say, how do I get certifications? I think Letitia just came late. So once we're done, as I said, we are a CompTIA authorized academic partner right there. So once you're done with our training, we issue you, of course, your fields. Actually, it's a combo. So we also have, vouchers. So once you're done, we give exam vouchers that you can just go sit in and take your exam. Okay, but again, I'll still have to emphasize that certification should not even scare anybody. It should not even be something that you have to stress yourself. If you have those skills, have good resume, you know how to talk, you even get a job without a certification. I promise you, because I have students that have offer letters without no certifications. But you just need to know how to bypass the ATA system, and most importantly, how to communicate your skill or back up your skill very well. Okay, thank you. Carol said good live, very interesting live session. So any other question, guys? I really want to thank you all for joining. Spread the word, share with your friends, for anyone that missed, that way they can go and watch it later. Any question? Okay, please don't forget to like this video. I'm seeing I have 11 people now, but I have 8 likes, so don't forget to like the video and share with your friends. But I really appreciate all. Thank you, very informative. You are very welcome. Again, I want to thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. We share a lot of information, and just stay tuned. We might be having some another live session shortly. Okay, all right, bye everyone. I appreciate your time. Bye.